Die Silicon Valley Tour wird euch präsentiert von US Now, dem Inkubator der Scout24-Gruppe. Wenn ihr gründen wollt, bewerbt euch jetzt um die Förderung eures Startups bei US Now. Und Forward.io. Als CTO as a Service entwickelt Forward.io Web- und Mobile-Anwendungen speziell für Startups. Hi from San Francisco. We are sitting right on top of a roof. At least I got that feeling. We are in the heart of the city visiting ReTargeter. And I'm here with Arjun. And Arjun, you are the founder of ReTargeter. And the interesting thing, and it's a pretty rare thing, you bootstrapped the whole company. There are 40 people working for ReTargeter right now. Why did you decide to bootstrap the whole thing?
Yeah, I think we decided to bootstrap because we wanted to learn as much as we could with as minimal investment as possible. So we really, are fans and followers of the lean startup methodology and learning and practicing and growing through kind of each iteration of the product. And we wanted to not raise or think about raising until we really felt like we had everything tight. And we were lucky enough to be in a space and have the discipline necessary to be able to scale organically. And I think with that in mind, we decided it wasn't appropriate to take capital because we were growing at the pace we wanted, and also because we still needed to learn a lot more. We needed to tighten up processes and make sure that if we do take capital, it's ready for a scaling purpose, not for learning, because we can learn in the current model that we're using. Yeah.
So you've been earning money right from the start, or not really? Like where did?
Yeah. About 3 months in, we started earning money. Okay. Yeah.
So a bootstrap company, and I'd love to hear more about what ReTargeter is actually doing. It's well, the name contains a lot of the stuff that you're doing. You're doing retargeting, and aimed at which target groups, and tell us more about what ReTargeter does.
Yeah, absolutely. So the core retargeting technology is the ability to show ads to people who've been to a particular site already and re-engage with them. And we've particularly focused on more of the medium-sized market. So the vast majority of our clients are spending north of $1,000 a month with us, and they tend to be folks who have at least 20 to 30,000 unique users coming to their site every month. We work across a whole variety of different verticals, so everything from B2B software to retail to travel and hospitality, entertainment, lots medical and finance as well. So lots of different verticals. Basically, anybody that's driving traffic to their site.
Right. So it doesn't really matter which area you are working in. Yeah. Retargeting works for everyone. For those who don't know retargeting, could you describe how the technology works?
Absolutely. Yeah, so the way the technology works is we're actually showing ads just to the people who've been to a particular site. And the way we do that is we drop a cookie on the browser that's been to that particular page. And when that cookie shows up elsewhere across the web, we're actually looking to match that cookie with an ad placement that we have, and we're buying the ad in real time. So when the user appears on a particular site, we read and we see that there's a match on the cookie. We say, hey, we're willing to bid for this impression, and we buy the ad in a fraction of a second.
Okay, so what are the most important areas you have to work on? Is it more the technology, to get the technology further and further, or is it acquiring customers, or what's your main focus areas right now?
Right. Yeah, so I spend a lot of my time, the technology and the product piece is very important. And then the customer acquisition, the marketing, as we were chatting about earlier, I spend a lot of time traveling, been to many conferences, just helping to spread the word about what we're working on. But I think the most important thing is actually focusing internally on kind of our values alignment, growth, making sure employees are happy, and I think to me that's the most important thing. So thinking about how we scale gracefully, and really making sure that as a culture we are embodying the values that we stand for.
What's the most important values for your company?
Yeah, so we've actually got them up on the wall. So.
Yeah, I just seen them, and you will see them right now.
Okay. Yeah, so it's important for us is respect, humility, intelligence, hustle, fun. Building long-term relationships is a really important one for us. So those are just some of the values that are important, and I think those living those and making sure that we're aligned with those always is what allows us to be successful, and I think has been a key component in our ability to bootstrap as well.
All right. Coming back to the bootstrapping thing, because I've not seen that many countries and that many companies that have bootstrapped, and you've successfully bootstrapped. Would you do it again, or did you sometimes have the feeling that the growth was not fast enough, and you could have done a lot quicker with seed money?
Right. I think I would, if I were to do it again, I'd potentially take a little bit more money, but I think we'd still be focused on learning as much as possible through the process. And I think if one is focused on learning and learning fast and iterating quickly, then sometimes capital isn't as necessary. So I think as long as we're focused on taking the smallest amount that'll allow us to learn the most the quickest, that's kind of where how I think about that.
Would you think that startups that have tons of money that even makes them waste their money in ways they shouldn't have wasted it?
Yeah, I think it definitely. I mean, it does happen. I think people, because they have extra money, they try and learn lessons, and those lessons end up just being more expensive than they necessarily need to be. So I think that definitely does happen. But there's also many good reasons to raise money to start as well. So I'm not knocking that by any means, and I think it's more a function of the type of company, the industry, the style of leadership, the type of organization, and frankly, if it's something that can be monetized immediately. Often, if you're building a product company that can't necessarily be monetized until there's some sort of scale, then you're going to definitely have to raise money. But if there's a monetization opportunity, which in many cases there are, then it's not necessary to raise as much as some people are these days.
Okay. What's the future of ReTargeter? We've just talked about that. You're also thinking about raising money now that you know how everything works. How do you see, where do you see ReTargeter in, let's say, 5 years?
Sure. Yeah, I think we're thinking about a lot of different options and how do we scale, and whether that's raising money or whether that's debt, or whether it's just continuing to push hard and hiring some more folks. So a lot of options are open to us. I think where we think we're going from a vision perspective is really focused on making this concept of real-time bidding and display advertising easy. And that's what's important for us, is to make that process easy for the buyers of all these technologies. And we want to present innovative solutions to digital marketers and even offline marketers to say, here are interesting ways to reach your audiences across a digital space. And that's something that's really important to us. And so I think we move out of being 100% retargeting focused and move into more targeted display and audience-based display advertising.
Is that web address retargeter.com still a help for you, or is it when you adjust your way for the future, is it maybe a bit of holding you where you don't want to be held?
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. I think at some point in time we may have to change the name, but for now, I think it's helpful because retargeting is a great way to get people comfortable with display advertising. It's a technology that works very well, provides an immediate return on investment, and people say, "Oh, I never really thought display was a possible or an appropriate solution." And now all of a sudden, hey, this actually works. Yeah. Let's see what else you got for me. So it's a great way to
always start. A good door opener.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and what's in the future of advertising? What do you think of online advertising?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big shift towards buying audiences online versus buying on particular sites. So in the past, it was all about, I'm going to buy on the New York Times or a certain site because I want to attract this sort of an audience. The way that things are moving is that you can actually find that audience wherever they happen to be on the web or on video or on mobile, and you don't necessarily have to go to a particular site to find that audience. So I think that's an interesting shift that's happening, is that instead of being publisher focused, it's audience focused. And those publishers that have phenomenal audiences are still going to get, command great CPMs, are going to be in a great place. However, it's also going to present interesting opportunities for other publishers to monetize where people may just be spending a lot of time who are valuable in another context. So I think the audience-centric approach is really exciting.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And thanks a lot for the interview. And good luck for the future.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.